things are sent to try us. So you join me after a massive freak hailstorm, the likes of which, as an Englishman, I've never seen. I've seen it on YouTube. I've seen the big hailstorms, especially that they get in the US, you know, with like baseball-sized hailstones. You know, people getting killed in hailstorms, etc. But, you know, coming from the UK, especially the southeast, hailstones tend to be sort of this big, you know, no real big deal. Knock a few leaves off, but not too bad. I've just gone through a storm here in Anapa in southern Russia, which again is a bit of a freak. It's come from nowhere, wasn't predicted in any way. And the hailstones have been literally the size of golf balls. So you join me outside the back door. This is our terrace, and it's just been pouring through here. Some of you may know that our terrace has been pulled up because it was leaking. The irony, eh? And it's been going into the house, but we've managed to stem that flow. So you join me as we go on a little expedition and survey the damage. So let's flip you around. So swimming pool temperature was, I do quote was, 26.5 degrees. But given the fact that this was covered in ice about 20 minutes ago, it's now down to about 20 degrees according to the app on my phone. Oh, and here comes the sun. Why not? Seems reasonable. That's still standing. Yeah, good old British craftsmanship there. Don't look any closer. Cherry tree, I don't think we needed to prune that yesterday. I think God has done it for us. So that's took a bit of a pounding. The garden, I'm not actually going to try and walk on that, but I certainly won't need to walk the grass for a while. The swimming pool was actually up at the top level of the stones, so I've had to come out in the middle of the storm and pump it out. Otherwise it will blow the stones off at the top and potentially get water in between the concrete and the liner and then wreck the swimming pool. So that was fun. Thoroughly enjoyed that. And yeah, the wife's garden is not looking great. So that was a lovely bushy thing with loads and loads of buds just about to burst into big, beautiful flowers. And now it's smashed to bits and all the way up the terrace. Yeah, I don't know what that was, or that. So there's been a reasonable amount of destruction on the plants. Obviously the conifers and things survive, but that was looking lovely this morning. All ready to be very pretty. And yeah, I mean, plenty of ice for later if you fancy a gin and tonic, I guess. Yes, honey? Is it important? Okay. Okay. Oh, a frog thought you come out and play. Look, another one. Bless them. As you can see, everything was white a little while ago. Made a bit of a mess, but I suppose it could have been worse. I know what you're wondering. given the fact that our terrace has been ripped up. What does it look like? Well, luckily, the roofer came this morning, as I mentioned in the other live that I was trying to do. But we were losing power and all sorts were going on. These are only the little ones. Yeah, luckily the roofer came this morning and put a liquid waterproof coating across the entire terrace, but it isn't designed to put up with what we've just had. But all I can say is I dread to think what state we'd be in now if he hadn't come and did that this morning. So thankful for that. It hasn't obviously made it waterproof, but it certainly will have done a lot. So let's go and have a look. Let's go and have a look. Phew. Furby, Mother Nature is grand, ain't she just? Window to my soul. I was going to say the window to the sauna, but okay. Let's start in the utility room. Everything's drowned. Okay. Well, I mean, this is all as a result of the previous damage, which was why the terrace was being pulled up in the first place. There's obviously a bit of water that's got in between the cavity there, and the same here. But I was expecting a lot worse, to be honest. So if that's all we've got, I'll be reasonably happy. Oh well, wash the table at least. Saves a bit of manual labour. Should I dare to put the lights on? Yeah, why not? Oh, perhaps not then. No power. So that's all right. Nothing on the ceiling, just that. Okay. Yeah. That shouldn't look like that. I wonder where that's coming in from. We've got a small leak there. And there. But that hasn't come from there. That looks like that's leaked through the window. Okay. Well, that should be an easy fix. Lots of screws around the outside. Take the window out. Nice tube of silicone. Screw it back together. Okay. Well, whilst I'm not overly happy to see a load of water in my sauna, I suppose it could be worse. Oh, there we go. It's very black out there. I don't know if we're going to get some more. But that literally came from nowhere, that storm. It was sunny, it was blue skies. Swimming pool, like I say, was, you know, we were contemplating getting in this afternoon, so I thought, oh, it's going to warm up quite a bit. And then that. So, it's probably put pay to our swimming for the rest of this year, which is sad. So I don't fancy swimming in 20 degrees. Oof. No. That's not cricket. She's still having a go. I'm just deciding whether that is coming our way or going away from us. I think it's going away from us. I think that's what we've just had. I hope. I don't want any more. I'm all stormed out. So, as I was saying, I had to emergency pump the swimming pool out, which hence the reason the pipe's there. Which I can just flick it to waste, but that currently goes underground. And given the amount of water that I've had to pump out, I think we'd have ended up with a sinkhole. So I actually had to disconnect the pipework and then plug that directly into the filter and just pump it straight out down there across the concrete. But we haven't got any electricity at the moment, so I can't check anything. But my absolutely dodgy, rushed together pool room hasn't leaked a drop. How about that? Oh dear. Well, well, well. So there we go. All the neighbours are out. They're probably doing the same as us, looking at how much damage they've got to their plants. And yeah, should have a look out on the road, see if it's still there. Yeah, the road's still there. Fine. Oh well, could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse. But yeah, certainly had a few thousand litres out of the swimming pool. And like I say, the level, this blue cover was up on the stones. So that had to be pumped out, which was great fun, running out here in an absolutely torrential hailstorm. I think I've got a couple of videos of that, which I'll probably upload on my Telegram channel if you're interested. Yeah, I won't be walking on that grass for about a year. Certainly nothing needs watering, so that's a bonus. Well, there we go. How's the weather where you are? I bet you haven't just gone through that. Blue skies now. Hi Alex, you've got some water in your pool for free. Is that legal nowadays? Well, it is here. That's the funny thing. In the UK, no. A local water authority would claim it as theirs. If the water hits the ground, it belongs to them, apparently. Yeah. Cesar Thomas. The rain is blessing. We haven't had it for 2 months. Yeah, wow. Yeah, I mean, normally that would be the case for us. But since they took the waterproof membrane off of the terrace, it has rained every day. Apart from yesterday. Don't think it rained yesterday. I think we had some spits and splats, but nothing major. And then, as I said, the roofer turned up this morning and put the liquid waterproof coating on. Thank God he did, because I don't think I'd have a swan otherwise. I think it would have washed away. So yeah, we've had rain pretty much every day for about 10 days. But that seems to have done a reasonably good job. Interesting. see where it got in, but yeah. Right, well, wait for that to dry out. Well, there we go. Looks like winter's arrived. Most of the trees have got all the leaves and branches beaten off of them. Yeah, like I say, as I keep saying, repeating myself, it could have been worse. Way too much rain lately here in Novosibirsk, really. Yours is much nicer though, it's getting cold here. Yeah, well, anything below 25 degrees feels cold to us now. I'm going to put my hand in the pool just for a laugh. No, I ain't. No, that'll be fine. No. You stay under that cover. Yeah, cold. Cold. As in, I'm not going in there cold. Yeah, I've never gone through a storm like that. That was pretty intense, to be fair. And the sound of it hitting the front of the house, I said to the missus, come away from the windows, let's shut the doors. Because I half expected the glass to go in, to be honest. It was pretty major. But these things are sent to try us. Luckily, and this is a stroke of luck, my onions are all right. So as long as all the stuff that I can eat has survived, don't tell the wife, but I'll be happy. The green stuff, survival of the fittest. But as long as the stuff that I can eat gets through, that's good. Speaking of being able to eat, I'm going to go and look at my little maple. My poor old Japanese maple. Oh, let's have a look. How did she fare? Okay. Well, better than expected. Given what the poor thing's just gone through. Better than expected. Obviously these things are going to be alright. I think everything's had a bit of a trim. Berries, anyone? Those yellow ones there. Used to be on there. Don't know what that is. Or was. Oh, cat. Not sure being outside was the brightest of things, but you knew best, didn't you? It was up on the top terrace. I think the wife's in mop-up phase because a couple of windows are open, so. Ooh. Poor mushroom. Oh well. That's raining. It shouldn't be raining. Thought it had gone. Uh-oh. Is it coming back for part 2, we wonder? Yeah, why not? Just fill the pool up, make me come out here and pump it out again. Honestly, I really enjoyed it. Here in the UK, it's never considered a good idea to have a flat roof. Have to be very, very careful with water insulation. Yes, Alex, you're absolutely right. I did a bit of flat roofing for a while, many years ago. And they've got a different approach to water in the UK because we pretty much live in it. Whereas here, I think it's fair to say that the guys don't really have the concept of water like we do in the UK, because the climate is just completely different, and Yeah, okay, it rains. I mean, that what we've just had there is just immense, but it dries really quick, so it's not sustained like it is in the UK. You know, if it rains in the UK, it can just keep raining and raining and raining for days and days and days and days and weeks at a time. So the water can just soak through and build up, and it's not warm enough to evaporate it, so it just eventually finds a way. And you know, water in the UK does all sorts of weird stuff. It goes uphill and finds a way into all sorts of places. But out here, I think because the climate's so different, it just doesn't have the same effect. So consequently, they haven't really got the experience with water like we have in the UK, or certainly like roofers have in the UK. Yeah, it was. Yes, you're right, Alex. It was one of the questions. Do you have a flat roof on your insurance policy? Because, you know, like all insurers, they like not to pay out. They're quite happy to take your money, but they like to have lots of little clauses and loopholes and escapes. I've spent many years dealing with insurers in the automotive industry, and you had to stay one step ahead of them. Here's a little story. I had a customer come in once who come in to me, and whilst parking on her drive, she'd scraped the gate post on her own drive inside of the car, and she came in obviously for a quote, and she'd done a reasonable amount of damage, scraped through the bottom of one door, and she was sort of umming and ahhing whether to pay for it herself or go for insurance. She said, "Oh, I've got protected, no claims, I never claimed, blah blah blah." So I sort of gave her an idea of what the cost would be, and she said, "Oh, I'm going to do this for insurance. Do you mind if I ring them?" I said, No, fine. So she rang the insurer there and then, and she had it on speakerphone, luckily. And as she was saying to the insurance company, you know, and asking, you know, is it going to affect my policy and this sort of thing, they said, yes, it is going to affect your policy. And she said, "Oh, I won't bother claiming then." And they said, "Well, it doesn't matter. You've told us you've had an accident." And she said, but it was on my own drive, and I knew exactly what was going on, so I snatched the phone off of her. And I said, "Hello, I'm sorry, I think you've misunderstood. She hasn't had an accident. All she's actually done is just touched the bottom of the door, and it's just going to pop out. So there's no actual damage. So there's no claim to be made, and there's no damage to the vehicle. So you can't actually mark it down as having sustained any damage or had an accident." And they were like, "Yeah, but the lady has just said that she has had an accident." I said, No, she's coming to us for a bit of advice about the gate post, because her driveway is quite narrow, and where she's got out of her door, she's just got out of her car, she's just touched the door onto the post. But it's, you know, there's no damage to it. It's certainly not need of a claim. We'll touch it in for her, and that'll be absolutely fine. And they were really, really quite miffed that they couldn't put that down as a claim, because it increases the premiums, as you're then technically a higher risk, believe it or not. Even though she's damaged her own car on her own driveway, they've put her down, or they were going to put her down, as having being a higher risk and putting a policy up. So it's probably £300 or £400 worth of damage to her car, which she paid for herself, because obviously she would have been paying for that for the next 5 years with the increase in premiums. But that's insurers for you. And I can only imagine it's a lot worse now than it was back then. So any kind of excuse to get out of paying. Also, I know somebody that got burgled, and he had contents insurance and everything, you know, all sorts of things covered. And the loss adjuster came round and went through all of the items that had been stolen. And I think he was covered for something like £20,000 internal stuff, like jewellery and cash and things like that. And when the loss adjuster added it all up, he said, "Well, it actually comes to £38,000. And the guy I know thought, "Okay, lovely." They paid him £2,000 because they said he was underinsured by £18,000. Yeah, get that. So insurers, yeah, they're a great load of fun. Bane of my life they were. Not anymore. Don't have to deal with them. But yeah, you're absolutely right, Alex. They're just scammers. Right, so this is Colin Firth, but on Russia. Colin Firth. Well, I don't wear a tie like Colin. And certainly my projects aren't as elaborate. I'm not going to be riding any wall of death, and I haven't dug an underground bunker for my DeLorean. So yeah, I'm aware of who you mean. Yeah, I'm more above ground myself with less hands-on work, i.e. none. But thanks, I'll take it as a compliment. Any excuse to charge extra without having to pay out? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Same happened to me. Someone bumped my car and didn't claim it on insurance and just repaired it at my own expense. They still increased my premium. Yeah, technically you're at a higher risk now. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But you know, it's their game, it's their train set, so they make the rules for it. And when you sign up for the policy, they're all sweetness and light on the phone going, oh yeah, of course we'll help you, and this, that and the other. Read the small print, which nobody ever does, do they? 33 pages of thou arts and where tos. Nobody ever reads it. People that do read it get halfway through it and think, I can't understand this. And you sign it, but effectively you're signing to say that they will find a way of not paying out. That's pretty much how it rolls. So the other big scam with insurance is when they get you to take out additional cover in case you have an accident. That's always a good one. So hey, we can cover you for £5 million if you're involved in an accident. It'll give you a free courtesy car. It'll give you this. It'll give you that, and it'll only cost you an additional £30 on your premium. What a scam that is! So first and foremost, if you're insured and you have an accident, if it's your fault, your insurer has the legal duty to deal with it, because that's what insurance is for. If it's not your fault, it's somebody else's fault, the other person's insurance has a legal duty to deal with it. So why do you need to take out a £30 premium to protect yourself and provide a courtesy car, which the body shop will provide to you free of charge anyway? Because all body shops worth their salt nowadays signed into insurance contracts. And part of that contract is that you must provide a courtesy car, you must extend that courtesy car for 14 days if the vehicle is written off, you must provide free storage to the insurer, you must do this and you must do that, and all body shops have to sign in for this. So, what are you paying this additional premium for? Because, and here's the other thing, before somebody says it, if you have an accident and it's what we call non-fault, somebody smacked you in the back, and you haven't got this cover, you report it to your insurer, and your insurer says, well, you haven't taken out insurance to cover this, so we can't deal with it. Well, they wouldn't deal with it anyway. It gets passed to an accident management company. So there's nothing they're covering other than they're taking money from you to cover something that you've already got covered. So just bear that in mind. If somebody hits you, it's not your fault, it's a non-fault accident, go for an accident management company. They'll settle it a damn sight quicker than your own insurer. And of course your insurer will say, oh no, that's not a good idea, and lots of people will fearmonger you about using accident management companies because they just run up massive bills and it's all a big scam. And I'll tell you now, every single case that I ever dealt with that went for an accident management company got settled real quick, because there's a courtesy car put out the minute that they take the case on. And that courtesy car is charged at quite an amount every day, which makes the other insurer pull their finger out. And every time I've had a case that didn't go through an accident management company and it went through the insurer, it dragged on. And I've known cases to go on for 2 or 3 years, just sitting in paperwork and buried because there is no cost. So my advice, use an accident management company. Your insurance company does. There we go. No bunker. No, well, I mean, swimming pool maybe. Use that as a bunker, I suppose. Pull the cover over. Don't need a bunker here. I'm in the safest country in the world. So I definitely don't need a bunker. And to be honest, if we're talking about having a nuclear bunker, what's the point? I've always wondered this. Unless you're somebody like the Zucker of the Berg, who's bought a massive piece of land on Hawaii, like many other celebrities, is building a multi-million-pound bunker under the ground, like many of the other celebrities. Unless you're those people, and you're just a normal person, what's the point in building a bunker? What are you going to come out to? Because if nukes fly, everything dies. We all go. Apart from the people that crawl into a bunker, which will be the rich and famous on their Hawaiian island. But the rest of us, normal people, everything's gone. So if you've got a nuclear bunker and you come out, to what? Radioactive dust? No thanks. If nukes fly, I'll tell you where I want the first one. Right on top of my head. That's where I want the first one to land. So I don't know anything about it. And neither does my family. That's what I'd like to happen, if it ever happened. Because living in the aftermath of a nuclear war, the comprehension of which nobody really has. You know, we all think that nukes are Nagasaki and Hiroshima. And they're like a cap gun compared to what's available now. Russia having the largest nuclear arsenal in the world. Yeah, you don't want to be around if nukes fly. All this chest puffing out and posturing by the rich, all because they've got underground bunkers. It's great for them. For us normal people, wouldn't be a lot left. There'll be nothing left, so it ain't worth it. Chris, I have a full clean driving licence, full no claims bonus, and I drive a Chevrolet Spark. It cost me £460 a year. Ouch. Ouch. So I pay quite a lot of insurance out here. Obviously, I'm on a visa, so I'm probably kind of the worst risk to insurers out here, I guess. And we've got a Chinese car. We pay about £270, I think. But that's everything, fully comp. You know, it's fully comp out here, but you get the idea. Yeah, so it's less than I was paying in the UK, but it's a lot by Russian standards. They will be happy to rule over the ashes. Well, yes, I mean, there's a lot of borderline cities built underground in some countries. And given the level of depravity that certain countries are stooping to at the moment, I would imagine they'd be quite happy to run off into their bunkers in the hills, dragging whoever they want to drag along with them. Hope you understand what I'm saying. Kicking and screaming, locking them up in little rooms. So yeah, let's not think about that too much, because those people just need deleting. So yeah, they're living in a different life and living in a different world to the rest of us. The rest of us have to deal with the aftermath of the decisions they make, which is wrong, isn't it? Hawaii is a bad location. It's not for nukes. It's for the solar micronova. Okay. That's something I have no concept of, so can't pass comment on that. The discharge will cause active fault areas to erupt. Okay. Texas is better, in the mountains. That's where the Bezos is building. Yeah, I don't think anywhere's better if nukes fly. Let's face it, Russia's got 6,000 odd nukes. And if you take something like a Sarmat or a Poseidon, one of those is needed to wipe the UK. Gone. One. They've got 5,999 left. Not all Sarmat, admittedly, not all Poseidon. But, you know, you kind of get the idea. And that's just Russia. You start factoring everybody else in, because let's face it, everybody's just going to go into meltdown and start pushing buttons if nukes fly. So they'll all be going. There's none of this limited war, strategic nuke, and, you know, all this other crap that these idiot, retarded politicians come out with. That's just nonsense. No such thing. There isn't going to be, oh, we'll send a nuke and that'll send a message. I'll tell you that now. If nukes fly, they all fly. And if they all fly, everything goes. And this world isn't inhabitable unless you're in an underground bunker. And like I say, it goes back to my point. What would you want to live in an underground bunker for? Unless you're very elderly, you've lived your life already, you've got all your family in there with you, and whatever else you want to get up to. You've got an endless supply of food and water, because that's the way they build these bunkers. But you're going to live underground, like a mole. But, you know, you're going to get up to your nonsense, whatever you want to be doing. And that'll be that. Everybody else, well, like I say, do you want to live in a world that's just been completely turned into ash? I don't. No thanks. Southern Hemisphere might escape the nuclear winter. It really depends on what countries are in the Southern Hemisphere that are going to get targeted by nukes. And there'll be ones that are hostile to other countries, and there'll be ones that have been stupid enough to have nuclear weapons and bases on their territory for other countries. Might be worth thinking about what countries have put nukes on your territory or on your country's territory. See whether they're hostile to anybody. Bit of water in there. Yeah, anyhow, it's depressing, isn't it, talking about nukes. Let's not talk about nukes. Russia has underground facilities, Swiss do, and do the States. They've known about this since the 1940s, and it's not for nukes, really. Nukes are an excuse. I don't know about the UK, but I suppose. Colin, thank you. Yeah, I mean, all of it really is kind of irrelevant to us. It's not something that's ever going to affect the average person. You know, the bunker side of things is never going to affect the average person. The aftermath of a nuclear winter would. But again, we have no control over it. You know, it's something I probably used to not fret about, but certainly consider and worry for my children. And, you know, and that was part of me coming to Russia. That was a big worry for me. You know, what happens if something happens and my kids are 2,000 miles away? Well, the simple answer is, if something like that happens, it isn't going to matter where I am. And I've gone on holiday, driven around Scotland. I'm as far away, time-wise, in Scotland as I am here. Not quite, but, you know, you get the idea. So, you know, if something goes wrong, it goes wrong, and regardless of where I am, I'm not going to be able to do anything about it. So that's one of the things I had to square away. And going through that process of squaring nonsense like that away, you kind of just go, well, if I can't affect it, there's no point in worrying about it, because then it just affects me. So it's kind of where I am, really. It's a horrible thought, but I can't change it or do anything about it. It's just the scumbags that can instigate it or push the button, as they say, and we can't get to them or do anything about that. So you've just got to live your life every day and enjoy it every day, which is why I'm here in Russia, living my life and enjoying it every day, apart from today where we had a bit of rain and a bit of hail. Beautiful out there anyway. Out here, yes it is. Out in the wilds with chickens and rabbits. Oh no, I couldn't be doing with chickens waking me up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I've got cats for that. Yeah, no, it's where we are, it's lovely. It's really nice. There's a chicken. What the hell? I swear I just heard a chicken. Maybe I'm going a bit mad. I thought I was hearing things for a minute. I thought I heard a chicken. There we go. That's looking a bit black. So, has anybody got any questions? Anybody interested in Russia? You know, not even interested. Maybe you've got an opinion on Russia. Maybe you hate Russia. It's a terrible place. It's all horrendous. Snow, bears, gangsters, vodka, horse and cart. And maybe you got a question. How do I manage to get about if all the horse and carts are taken up? Don't know. Maybe you're curious. Hi, you drink Russian vodka? Well, funnily enough, it's been my experience coming to Russia that there hasn't been a great deal of vodka. I mean, you go to the shop, you can buy it. Of course you can. But at the same place, I can buy whiskey or bourbon or gin or anything else. But I think when I first came here in 2021, we went to visit somebody and they got out a glass and a bottle, poured some vodka, and, hey, let's have a toast to you. Nice to meet you for the first time. Here's a vodka toast. And aside from that, I think when people have come round, sometimes they would bring some like homemade vodka. So I think, that's a bit of a thing. But I've got to say, given the stereotype for Russians, they're all running on vodka, even the cars run on vodka, I've got to say, I haven't experienced that. That's not been my experience in Russia. So, no, I don't really drink vodka because I haven't really had the opportunity. Can you live off of $500 a week there? A week? You live like a king. $500 a week? Are you mad? Right, let's give you some prices, and then you'll understand. So let's take this house next door. It's a 2-bedroom property. There are a few on this estate. They're all different. They all look the same, I know, from the outside, but they are all different in different ways. You're looking at about rental around £200 to £250 a month. Don't know what that equates to in dollars. Probably similar, maybe a bit more, $300 a month. So that's what you're looking at to rent. Electricity for that house, you're looking at probably £15 for a month. And gas, well, we just had our gas bill. Well, we just had our electricity bill, actually. We run 3 air conditioning units and a swimming pool. And our electricity bill was about £30. And our gas bill was about 80 or 90 pence. So maybe $1 for the gas and maybe $30 for the electric. Obviously, going into winter, we won't be using air conditioning units. The pool will be running a quarter of the time that it currently does. And our heating will be on gas. But gas is the cheapest resource out here. So our gas bill will go up, but our electricity bill will significantly go down. So that's the gas and electric. There aren't things like council tax here. So the local authority doesn't make up some bullshit and charge you for it. We pay to have rubbish disposed of, and I think that costs about £1 a month, thereabouts. What other bills do you have? Food? Well, it's a difficult one to say with food, isn't it? Because, do you want to get by? Do you want to live on bread and water, or do you want to eat in a 5-star restaurant? Do you want a combination of the both? I would say average 200 for us, for 3 of us. £200 a month we probably spend, but we eat whatever we want whenever we want. We have takeaways, we go out for an occasional meal, and the fridge, the freezer and the cupboards are always stocked with food. So there's that. What else? I'm trying to think. Oh, petrol. So petrol is about 48 pence a litre, roughly. So it's about a third of the price of the UK. So again, I think we spend maybe 3,000 rubles a month. So about £30 a month on fuel. So yeah, I mean, a very quick answer to your question, $500 a week is yeah, I mean, it's insane. For where we are. If you're going to Moscow, probably not. So it depends where you're going. Depends on the region. Depends what kind of lifestyle you want to live. And if you've bought your house outright, you haven't got any rent. Oh, nice bit of lightning. Did you catch that? I hope somebody didn't catch it. That was a proper bit. Am I sitting on anything metal? Yes. Okay. If this stream ends abruptly, and it follows the thunder after the strike. Yeah, if this stream ends abruptly, then just picture Foghorn Leghorn, or maybe Crazy Coyote getting hit by a bolt of lightning. That'll be me, all black and singed. But yeah, I mean, $500 a week is yeah. We live our life on a lot less than that. And like I say, if you own property, you haven't got any rent, and that's your biggest expense. So if you were bringing an amount of money and bought a house, you know, your expenses are pretty much your next biggest expense from that will be food. So taxes, and I don't mean taxes that take you somewhere, I mean taxes that the government levy on your bank account, are, I mean, as a normal person, if you're not working, your taxes are pennies, literally pennies. Healthcare is free, but you can go private, and that's pennies as well. So really, you haven't got any bills. So I'm just wandering out the front to see if, because we're expecting somebody, so I keep wandering out the front. I'm not mental. I'm just waiting to see if somebody turns up. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a very, very cheap country to live with Western money, if that makes sense. For the average Russian, it's the same as anybody else. I would say that the average Russian here may not have a materialistic life like the average American or the average Brit or the average Canadian. They may not live the same materialistic life. They may not have the same things, but I bet they're happier because their food's better quality, the weather's nicer, the people are nicer. You know, the freedom here is, well, you won't believe it if you're not experienced to it, but you know, coming from the UK to here, the freedom I've experienced has really blown my mind. I've never felt so safe, and I've never felt so free. So I think quality of life, definitely for the average person, definitely is better in Russia, because they're not experiencing what a lot of Brits are going through at the moment with crime, and you know, the food, the quality of the food, and all of that kind of thing, and the constant bills and taxes and everything else. Yes, Russians have roosters too. They do indeed. I just never heard one. Not round here, anyway. Not that I can remember. I don't know, maybe I have, and I just blocked it out. Anyhow, I've thought about relocating, but it'd be somewhere entirely rural. It turns out when you get out of the cities, it's much nicer. Yeah, I'm in a rural village. This is just a 39-house development in between what I would call old school Russia. There's a banya here, our neighbour. They built this at the bottom of their garden. Quite a big thing out here in Russia is a banya. Russian vodka, Yakusha 50. Yeah, I'm not really a vodka drinker, to be honest. I'm not a drinker anymore. And because we live in a wine region, I can either drink vodka or I can drink lovely bottles of wine or champagne for about a tenth of the cost, and without being tight. And equally, my stomach will definitely thank me for drinking the wine. I prefer to drink the wine. Never used to. I wasn't a wine drinker, definitely not. I was a bourbon and bitter kind of guy, you know, or dark ales or something. But now out here, I wasn't ever a wine drinker because I just found that all the wine that I've ever sampled really was like battery acid. Wasn't a fan of any of it. Had a couple of bottles that were sort of like, all right, but I ended up drinking it just for the sake of drinking it, really. Not enjoying it, and certainly champagne was vile. Couldn't see the point of drinking that stuff. But but coming out here, yeah, it's lovely. The stuff that we have in our regions around us. We're surrounded by vineyards, different, all sorts of different vineyards. I've done a series just on one, but there's loads more. So yeah, and grapes grow out here for fun. So wine is definitely the thing for us. All the projects I've heard about by Anglos, okay, I hate that term, is to get people into Russia, into suburban settings with no animals. No idea where you heard that. So, people into Russia into suburban settings. No idea where you heard that. And no animals, again, no idea where you heard that. Russians love their animals. They certainly love their cats and their dogs. We've got 5 cats. We brought one of those with us from the UK on the plane. Sat on my lap, believe it or not. Nelly, hi. Let's do a Nelly favourite. There you go. Greetings from Murmansk. Living in Sydney is 20 times more expensive. Yeah, I don't doubt it for a minute. I mean, living in the UK is horrendously expensive. Alexander, I have no idea what you're saying. Nash, yeah, sorry. Is healthcare expensive? No. So, blood test about £6 if you pay for it privately. It's free, obviously, if you want to take the free healthcare. But I go private because, well, not for any particular reason other than it's the nearest place to me. The service that I get there is exceptional. I go in there for a blood test, and literally I can have a blood test the same day. I get the results the same day, and they're sent to me by email. And anything, like an MRI scan, for example, is about £35. Topography scan is about £15. Yeah, so healthcare, no, is peanuts. It literally is peanuts. It's not even, unless you're really, really, really ill and you require constant medical attention, it really isn't something you'll factor into your decision making, to be honest. Yes, it is. It's covered by the state. Even with tourist rates, healthcare is cheap. Yeah, it is. Ooh. I am going to turn into a little black stick in a minute, aren't I? Bzzzt. How much does a house similar to your next door cost? So that's, we would call it a bungalow in the UK, but it's a single-storey building. I think they're 2 and 3 bedroom on this development. You can get 1 bedroom ones, smaller ones. But on this particular development, bearing in mind we've got tarmac road, we've got mains, water, electricity and gas. I think you're probably looking at this particular property next door around $100,000. That's on 700 square meters of land. But again, they're all different because they've all been customised in certain ways. People will have them exactly how they want. Some people will buy them out of the catalogue. I think a catalogue house, if you want to call it that. Let's try and reconnect. So we've got nice sky there and rain. We've got lovely blue sky and no rain. I want to be over there. I don't want to be here. Yeah. Have you been to? Yes, I have. I don't honestly know. I think it might be. I mean, temperatures here in the Napa region can be as high as late 30s, maybe even low 40s. I haven't seen low 40s, but certainly have late 30s, 37, 38 degrees. Sochi might be a bit warmer, but Sochi is subtropical, more humid, which suits some people. It doesn't me. I'm not a fan of a humid climate. So for me, it's the climate, the humidity that I don't like there. Do they have a go at you and say your blood came back as Guinness? No, he has had a go at me and told me, Well, when I first came here, he told me that my cholesterol level was way too high and my insulin level and various other things. Got smashed glass. Uh-oh. Ah. Yeah, I was going to put a lamp on that. Perhaps if I'd got round to it, I wouldn't have broken glass on the drive now. So yeah, that's how powerful the hailstones were. Smashed that bulb. This one survived. Better clear that up at some point, I suppose. Save driving over it with the car, wouldn't it? Or walking on it in bare feet like I normally do. Yeah. It looks like I'm in for part 2. As it's now raining and it's blue skies that way. So it ain't coming from there, is it? It's coming from here. Yeah. For your entertainment, see the level I'll go to entertain my subscribers. Oh, there's one, look. No, you get stuffed, I ain't doing it. I'm calling chicken. But that won't show on the camera, but that's black. Blackety black. Thunderstorms are good out here because they tend to be multiple lightning going across the sky and down. Not always. Sometimes it's just a load of noise, but sometimes they can be really spectacular. And at night, amazing. Really amazing. And we'll see what's going to happen. If it gets too violent, I'm running. Are people religious there? Yes, I would say. It's a religious country. It's traditional values, I would say, here. And I think if you go back in time to any country, you'll find that religion played a big part in the society. And whether you're a religious person or not, you have to acknowledge that a society that has religion in it and is brought up a certain way within the family structure tends to be a nicer society. I don't know, that's my view of it. It's probably incorrect, but through the trees over there, that building there, that's actually a church. So that is a Baptist church. But you have Orthodox Church, obviously, and I don't understand the religions. I'm not a religious man. I think everybody finds their own peace however they want. And if that means that you go to church, then good luck to you. I wouldn't say it's right, wrong or indifferent. It's just not what I do. I find my peace with a big man upstairs on a personal level. And obviously I haven't been finding much peace with him lately because he decided to make it rain as soon as our terrace got ripped up. What did I do? I don't know. He says look into the heavens, waiting for a thunderbolt. Do you live in Russia? Yeah. So this is Russia, and this is a live stream. I know that's being pedantic, but we're allowed to ask silly questions, but you've got to expect silly answers. And I am very good at giving a silly answer. In fact, I would suggest that if there were an event in the Olympics for giving a silly answer, I'd take gold medal. God bless, thank you. Putin said people can move to Russia if they don't agree with their government, but I've wondered how that works. I mean, Putin has passed a decree making it easier for Westerners because the Russian language is incredibly difficult for a Westerner. There's no two ways about it, unless you're a bit of a savant. Oh, nice rainbow forming. Look at that, right the way over. Normally we get a half, don't we? We've got all the way over. I might go and see if I can find a pot of gold. Wrong country, damn it. yes, the decree has been passed, making it easier. So language test you don't need to pass to get a temporary residence permit, but you still have to go through the process. It isn't a case of, oh great, I can jump on a plane now and fly to Russia. There's still an immigration process to go through. And a lot of people seem to have lost sight of that, I think. But yeah, you've still got to complete the visa process. That includes a police check of your background. You've still got to take a medical. And you've still got to satisfy, obviously, the visa centre and the Russian embassy that you're suitable to come here. Some people won't agree with that. They're probably from a woke country where it's, oh, it's terrible, you're discriminating. Personally, I think it's brilliant, because I think, much like your own house and your garden, it should be your sovereign territory, and I think countries should be the same. And they should have the right to decide who can come to their country and who can't. You shouldn't have to be forced to have an open border policy because some idiot in Brussels has decided that that's what they're going to do. And Russia doesn't. They don't have an open border policy. How far is the beach from where you are now? In time or distance? Distance, about 20 kilometres, I suppose. Maybe a bit less than that, actually. Time, depends on the time of day. If you go at a time where there's no traffic on the road, i.e. late evening, very, very early morning, I can be at the beach in about 17 minutes. If I go in the height of holiday season, at the worst time of day possible, when all of the foreigners are on the beach, bloody foreigners get everywhere, if I go then, it will take me an hour. That said, there is an awful lot of infrastructure being built, lots of roads being built at the moment, so that's only going to improve. That's a lovely rainbow. I think God needs some indigestion tablets by the sound of it. Go to Rokor, Russian Orthodox Church outside Russia if you want to understand Russia. Okay, I'll take your word for that one, I'm afraid. My channel, I have no clue. They are everywhere. Okay. Hey sir, good luck to you in Russia. We need more intelligent people like you. Oh dear God, you haven't met me. You definitely haven't met me. Intelligent? Not a word that's often used in the same sentence as me. Strange, funny, a bit odd. Intelligent? But I'll take it, thank you very much. It's a nice compliment and a nice thing to say. Especially if somebody you haven't met. So fair play, thank you. It's definitely raining, so I'm on the terrace now, and I can't sit down anywhere because everything's soaked. Or is it? Yes, it is. Bugger. He ain't going to be doing much for a while. Because that pool, don't fill up anymore. I cannot be doing with pumping you out again. But yeah, that pool's not going to see a lot of action. Although, maybe that'll coincide with the sauna being built, and we can come out of the sauna through that door and jump in there in the lovely ice cold water. Have a nice cold plunge. It's a bit of a thing over here, jumping in cold water out of a sauna or jumping in the snow. So yeah, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll just leave it uncovered all winter and just come out the sauna and jump in. Yeah. Rainbow's fading. Rain's getting a bit heavier. Hopefully we don't get any more hail. To be honest, I hope we don't get any much more rain. I'm done with rain now. I've had it for the last 10 days. Made your point. Well, it still ain't got any worse. Okay. Good news. This was my raincoat earlier. That's where my head went. And I had to go and pump pool out because it was overflowing. That's all I had. I haven't got a raincoat here. Never needed one. Right. What's the temperature right now? Hi, Sailor. Nice to see you. Yeah, sorry, Tatiana. There is a rainbow, but it's sort of there. It's just fading. You can see it. It was quite prominent a couple of minutes ago, but it's fading now. Might come back. If it does, I'll show you. What's the temperature right now, Sailor? It is... I can't look, but I think it's around 25, 26 degrees at the moment. I mean, I'm outside in a pair of shorts, but I always am, so that's no real gauge, is it? But I think it's about 25 degrees, 26 degrees in the rain. Certainly not cold. Might even be a bit more. Yeah, I'm in the middle of West Virginia, but there exists Rocor Monastery within some hours from here and churches. Hey, my channel, I will bow to your knowledge on that. I have no concept of different religions. In my mind, I think Ricky Gervais said it best, and although he is, he acknowledges to be an atheist, and I certainly don't, but I think a point that he made with religion is somebody was talking to him, and he pointed out that their particular religion, there's a god, and there are something like 3,000 known gods around the world, apparently, and each of them deny the existence of everybody else's god. And as Ricky Gervais said, you deny 2,999 gods, and I deny one more. So, I don't deny the existence of God. I just have no concept of it. And I do like to see things with my own eyes. So, maybe I'll get more religious as I get older. They say people do. The closer they are to death, the more religious they become. I'm getting close to death now, I think. Standing out here holding this phone. I might go and pick that nice lightning rod up. That'll look quite good, won't it? And just stand out there in the grass. What film was it that he did that? Was it Bruce Almighty? Something like that. Anyhow, I digress. Plus 15 where I am. Ugh, yuck. Yeah, that's winter. Yeah, no. Can you get by with only English language? Well, I'm living proof of that, yes. Would I recommend it? No. You don't really. I mean, I'm very fortunate. My wife and our daughter are both fluent in English and Russian. So I'm heavily reliant on them. I use Google Translate, but of course you haven't always got internet connection. But Google Translate's pretty good, and there are other translators available before somebody tells me that. But you can use like the camera and look up a menu and it will translate the menu for you and stuff like that. So I try to do that as often as I can, rather than getting my wife to read out the menu for me or my daughter. And yes, in theory you could, but it wouldn't be a great experience for you. And I think you'd miss out on an awful lot. I certainly miss out on a lot, but I'm not a very sociable creature, to be honest. I'm quite happy in my own skin. I quite like my own company. I don't need to be around lots of people for validation. I'm just sort of, I'm happy in my own skin. We have got friends, absolutely, and I enjoy spending our time with them. But it's not something, I'm not driven by that every day. Some people have just got to be around friends all the time. They've got to have something planned every single day. I'm not one of those people. So I'm really not the person to ask whether you can survive without knowing the language. But I would say you really do need to know the language to appreciate Russia, to get on in Russia, to enjoy Russia. You need to know the language. Yeah, I wouldn't suggest anybody doesn't learn the language. You sound British. Do I? Who'd have funked that? Who'd have thunk it? Oh, rainbow's coming back. Yeah, I'm shocked at that. Eagle Gaming ZA. British, you say? What, English? Wow. Honey, apparently I sound British.
Really?
And that's where I was born. Yeah, see, even the wife says I'm Chinese. Look at that rainbow. Lovely. Good side, the lawn will be watered properly. You think? As we say in the UK, no shit, Sherlock. So funnily enough, I did pack the hose away and the sprinkler because I thought probably won't need that for a week or so. Changed that to a year or so. Assuming, of course, the garden is still here and doesn't get washed away. The rain's getting heavier, and I will be pumping that damn pool out again, won't I? Oh well. A very pretty rainbow. There you go, Tatiana. I made that specially for you. I hope you're happy with that. Sean, hi. Nice to see you. Wasn't sure about a live, but we had a massive storm here with huge hailstones, and it destroyed a lot of the plants and smashed my bulb out the front on the drive. Better tell the wife, actually. Mind you, she won't be going out in this weather. Honey, one of the bulbs above the garage, the lights, got smashed by the hail, so it's got broken glass on the drive, so just don't go out there. I shall deal with it in a bit. Yes. Yeah, well, I'll have to deal with it before I go and get Amelia. Right. Orthodoxy is the state religion of Russia. Yes, I know that. You want to get familiar with Russia, go to a local church, is what I'm saying. Ah, okay. Okay. I don't know. I think that will get you familiar with the main religion. I don't think that will get you familiar with Russia. That may be a controversial statement, but I can honestly say everybody isn't running around with, with crosses in their hands, piling in and out of churches all the time. It's a very normal live and let live, common sense kind of place. So I don't think you will get an idea of Russia by going to church, if I'm honest. You'll get an idea of the religion, but you won't get an idea of Russia. Most people in Russia are atheist. Okay. I doubt that. I very much doubt that, Hopper, to be honest. Given the amount of churches that there are around everywhere, I doubt that very much. Hey, is it your first time live stream? No, I have done loads of live streams. I love a live stream because it gives people a chance to ask somebody in Russia a question. That's why I do them. It's so clear. Thank you. There is a rainbow, you're right. Look at it. Lovely one. That's put on. I've arranged that especially for you guys. Hope you appreciate it. Came at a great personal expense and was a lot of work. And it's actually a double. It's actually a double. So we've got one. It's very faint, but we've got one up there. I don't know if you can see that. It's about there. Cool. Very good rainbow. Very good. Alex, you wound me, sir. You wound me. Forsooth, young friar, what say you? You sound British. Dear, oh dear. No such thing as British language. I suppose technically that's true. It's the English language. I speak lots of languages. I think there's 5 when I last counted. I'm multilingual, which means I can eat with both hands. And I'm fluent in, obviously, English, American, which is a bit challenging at times, Australian, Scottish, although, you know, there are areas, to be fair, where they've got their own thing going on. I won't say Welsh, because that's a whole different ball game. But yeah. So I speak English and obviously the bastardised versions thereof from the aforementioned countries. Chris, what are you saying? I sound English because I am? I didn't know this. Yeah, I think if I read my birth certificate, it will say born in England. Lived in England all my life, so I suppose that's English. But I do feel like I've got a Russian heart, and at times I feel like I was born in the wrong country. But I would take that as a massive compliment if somebody said I've got a Russian heart, to be honest. It's definitely raining. Can you recommend a real estate website to check out properties? Oh God. What is it called? The one that they always say about. Can't remember what it's called. If you go into my Telegram group and ask that question, there are a few people in there that will be able to give you the answer. Failing that, I think we discussed this the other night in a live stream. So I did a live stream the other night with Sam from Sam's Russian Adventures and a guy called Ven, V-E-N, who lives in Sochi, and he originates from North Carolina, but now resides in Sochi and St. Petersburg, and he's got a business out here for construction, building houses. Very, very knowledgeable, both of those guys, on real estate and construction and real estate business, etc, etc. So great live stream if you're interested in real estate. Great live stream. I just sat there pretty much looking pretty. It's kind of what I did for the entire couple of hours that we were yabbering on. But it was a great live stream, lots of information. So if you get a chance, go and watch that live stream and you'll probably have your question answered there. You'll find it, a link to it on my channel on the YouTube homepage. If you click on my community tab, you'll find it there. Or if you go to Sam's Russian Adventures, you'll find it on his page. Such rain is called blind in Russia, when the sun is shining and it's raining at the same time. You can make a wish at the moment. That is a lovely rainbow. Definitely one of the brightest ones I think I've seen. And I'm going to wish for a rainbow. Can't believe it. Look at that. It came true. So beautiful. Thank you. I've been called many things. Oh, you weren't talking about me, were you, Sean? You were talking about the rainbow. Oh. Oh, really? I make a wish. Okay. What should I wish for? I've got my health-ish. I've got a wonderful family. I've got wonderful friends. I'm living in a wonderful place. Somebody actually said to me, oh, if you had lots and lots of money, where would you live? And I thought about it for a while, and I couldn't think of anywhere else that I'd want to live than Russia. Genuinely. I genuinely, honestly mean that, because I can go and experience 11 different time zones and every kind of climate on the planet. So why do I need to live anywhere else? If I want to go skiing, I can go to Sochi, or I can go in the Krasnodar region. There's ski resorts. If I want to go on the beach, it's 15 minutes down the road. If I want a swimming pool, I've got a huge one at the moment. It's the size of my Right, I think I'm probably going to have to go. Let me see if I can quickly rattle off some questions. If I'm not mistaken, during the Soviet era, religion was suppressed, but the spirit was very much alive. Could be. I'm not very good on my history. British could be Scottish, Northern Irish or Welsh. Yeah. English, very bad Spanish. What is going on with this? French, and yeah, I probably speak badly all of that. Privyat is Russia. Privyat. Vera. There you go. Managed to read that. There is a Russian saying, I know 3 languages, native, slang and curse. Yeah, well, I learnt curse first. You can thank my wife for that. What do you do for a living if it's not secret? I don't work, Nelly. There's no secret. I just don't work. I'm fortunate that I don't need to. And I'm not allowed to. I'm on a visa. So I'm not allowed to work anyway, even if I wanted to, which I don't. I'd love to live in Russia. Yeah, me too. Oh, I do. Right, guys. I've got to go because I've got to go and pick somebody up. Lightning. Yeah, I've got to go. So, thanks for tuning in. And I better go and save her before she's a drowned rat. So I'll see you in the next one, guys.